A modern-day Cinderella story, recorded by your teacher, Miss Hernandez. In a big city in the heartland of Guatemala, there lived a young woman by the name of Asura who was very extraordinary. She was very beautiful, and her voice was so sweet that the birds would flock all around just to hear it. She was very shy, however, so she lived alone, fearful of people, in a little cottage in the shadow of a large mansion. There were many a day when she would sit outside her doorway, weaving tapestries for money, singing away with only the birds to accompany her. One thing she loved most in the world is to look out into the mansion and watch the children play around. How she wished she could join them, but she knew she was too shy to ever go out there, and there was always more work to do. One day she went outside to sing while she weaved a beautiful tapestry for the church down the way. She looked out at the mountain and wished with all her heart that she might find someone to love and live with for her forever. The birds overheard her prayers and flew out, not returning until morning. She did not understand that they were trying to help her. She became sad when she saw them leave her. The next day, Dante, the eldest brother of the family in the mansion, came home after just finishing medical school. He had great aspirations to become a doctor that would help the people who did not have health insurance, and he would use his money and education to save people's lives. He was lonely, however, and wanted to find a woman he could love and live with forever. No sooner was that thought in his head once more than he heard Asura singing. It was the most beautiful sound he had ever heard, and he went instantly to see who was singing it. He went through the streets and in the small houses until he came across a very small and poor house from which the sound was coming from. He saw her there, singing on her little porch, weaving and looking out towards the mountains. He stood there for a while, unnoticed and entranced by the beautiful woman. The birds had suddenly sensed him and all stopped singing. This alerted Asura, and she turned around to see Dante standing there watching her. This scared her, and she ran into the house without saying a word. Dante was sad that she left, and no matter how many assurances he gave her of his meaning no harm, she did not come out. Meanwhile, the birds had scattered into the trees and were looking at the man suspiciously. He came closer to them and sat down as he introduced himself. He told them that he had played with them many times when he was a child, but because he was all grown up, they did not recognize him as their own. As he talked to them, the birds became easier, and they looked into his heart and recognized him at last. He talked on, with a voice that was deep and melodic. The birds perched on him as he told them of his dreams and wishes, and they did not care if he could not sing, for they loved to listen to him anyway. Azura saw this, and from the safety of her house she also listened to him. And as she listened, she fell in love with the handsome man who wanted to help people. She saw the birds also loved him, and this was the best sign that he was her soulmate. Asura then ventured out to him and introduced herself. They talked for hours until he said goodbye, but asked her to meet him the next day by the waterfalls, which he agreed to as they parted. The next day, they had an amazing evening talking about their lives and goals while splashing around in the waterfall and running around the mountainside. Day after day, they grew closer until one day they realized that they loved each other and wanted to get married. The wedding was arranged in a big courtyard of the mansion with all the family in attendance. The birds, however, were the most important guests because they were a symbol of friendship and love, something that Asura and Dante would forever share. The end. Now go have fun, guys, and make your own.